Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's time for another ATW Wrestling Association production. Let's get ready to debate. So for those in attendance, and the three in this room, and the thousands listening across the airwaves, and wherever you get your favorite podcast, it's time for James Atkinson, Melvin Pollard, Randall Smith Jr. It's all things wrestling. Hey, it's James Atkinson here with ScoreOnAirNetwork.com, and we've got a show planned for you. Welcome to the All Things Wrestling Podcast. Like I stated, I am Jimmy, and we have
the Big Money Mel
over here. Now, we were supposed to have Randall joining us, Randall Smith Jr., but he's had car problems today, so he's not going to be able to make us. But we are going to talk about something that I think all wrestling fans should actually talk about. It is time for the biggest rivals in history.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mel. Hey, well, Mel, here's one of my kicks I got going off right now. You remember back when Savage was actually going after Hogan during the Miss Elizabeth battle?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
When Savage claimed Hulk Hogan and Miss Elizabeth was having their little affairs and everything else.
Yeah, you know what's really screwed up about that rivalry, though? It was true.
What?
Yeah. Savage was such a jealous man when it came to Miss Elizabeth in the locker room. It's been told by several wrestlers, if you look at other podcasts. I think even Stone Cold mentioned it on the Stone Cold cast. All right? That the fact that
he did.
Randy the Macho Man,
Randy Savage.
Snap into a Slim Jim. No, don't snap into me. No. All right. Was actually very jealous. So that one happened for a while. So that was one of those things that you run into, that you see happening in real life too.
Wow.
So he's actually dead. You know that black eye that Hogan had upcoming WrestleMania where he was actually had a black eye before he went out to...
Yeah.
That was given to him by Savage.
What?
Yes. Randy Savage busted that man right in the grill.
Because of the affair that everybody kept saying that Hulk Hogan and Elizabeth had, Macho Man Randy Savage busted his eye over it?
Yes, he sure did.
Oh,
He nodded
wow.
dead in the eye. So that black eye that Hogan had back there was given to him by Randy the Macho Man Savage.
Because of the affair he had.
Yeah, now,
that was a rivalry.
And it wasn't even an affair. It wasn't really an affair. He just thought they were having an affair. And it was part of the storyline, too. Remember? Do you remember back then how Vince had that part of the storyline? Yeah. So, I mean, and if you guys don't agree with me on what I'm saying here, guys, please give us a comment, give us a like, give us a shout. Let us know exactly what you're thinking, because we really want to know.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's pretty wild. And another thing, that feud went on for a little while, too. They eventually made amends. Yeah, it did. But they eventually made amends, So when Randy Savage ended up going to WCW, and he became part of the MWO, it actually worked out well. Miss Elizabeth still joined. Miss Elizabeth was still his manager, was still Hogan's manager and Savage's manager, but they were no longer married. Because of that whole situation, believe it or not.
Wait. So because of the rivalry Hulk Hogan and Savage had with Elizabeth, that's why they got divorced?
Part of it, yep. She finally got tired. This is the story that was told to me. She got tired of listening to all the crap and him being so possessive that she went ahead and dumped him, yep.
Wow.
All right. Now, do you agree with that to being one of good rivalries right there? Or do you think, in fact, let me ask you this. Whose team were you on?
Oh, see, that rivalry right there, I would literally have to go with Savage.
Savage?
I have to go with Savage with that one. I have to go with Savage.
Think about this.
I mean, until now, because I always thought that rivalry, I always thought that was not, I thought that was just a story.
No, it was a story
with their rivalry. With that rivalry, I thought that was just like one of little Vince's little hoorah, little storylines to get people to pay attention to whatever it is that was going on. But now that I actually know that it was actually a true statement about Hogan and Elizabeth's affair, and that's the whole reason why that rivalry started. I would have to go with the whole Hogan. I have to go with Hogan now. I have to go with Hogan.
Oh, wait a minute. Mel changed his mind, lady and gentlemen.
I have to go with Hogan now. I have to go with Hogan.
Had this man change his actual mind. He went from being a Macho Man fan to being a Hogan fan all in one swoop moment. All right, now I know you have a couple picks for your type of things going on now. What do you got to talk about? What's your picks on some of your rivalries you chose?
One of my rivalries is the whole Lita and Trish Stratus faction rivalries.
No.
You know, because no one actually knew. I mean, if you actually watch wrestling, that Lita actually was a manager of Albert and Tess, the TNA tag team Albert and Tess had. Lita was actually their. I'm sorry, not Lita. Trish Stratus was actually their manager.
You mean Trish Stratus went from WWE to TNA? Or TNT?
Yeah.
WCW? I didn't know she was one of the ones that jumped.
Yeah.
No. And by the way, Mel, real quick, it's wrestling, not wrestling. All right? We are not in West Virginia here, folks. We are from Ohio, and we speak English. It's wrestling.
I can't help it.
It's wrestling.
If that down south sometimes come out of me with certain languages or certain word. But yeah.
It's okay, man.
But actually, it was WCW or WWE when Albert and Tess became a tag team. And they made the TNA tag team.
Dude, you're educating me right now, and if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk to me.
It was WWF.
All right.
It was WWF before WWF became WWE.
Yep.
Tess and Albert was a tag team, and they came up with the TNA tag team, and Trish Stratus was their manager. And at that time, that's when the Hardy Boys came out, and Lita was their manager.
Yep.
And after everything was done and over with, that's why I picked Lita and Trish Stratus, because both of them was managers of two tag teams at that time.
So you're doing this as a rivalry when they're managers, not necessarily as competitors.
It came after that.
Well, what kind of things makes this one of the top rivalries? What kind of things did you run into? Different types of segments?
The Divas.
Did they wrestle? Was there matches going on? How long did they last? How long did this rivalry last now?
Oh, that rivalry between Lita and Trish lasted, I would say, probably their whole careers.
Really?
Their whole careers, because what people fail to realize is Lita and Trish both came into the wrestling as divas.
Yeah, they were some of the original divas. That's during the Diva Championship. I remember that.
And after that, they became one of the first female wrestlers to actually compete in the ring, except for Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah, I get that. Fabulous Moolah. Moolah. She's named after money.
They were also one of the females actually became wrestlers, and that's why I picked them as their rival.
Holy crap, guys! Did you hear it? He said wrestlers.
Female wrestlers, okay? Female wrestlers.
No, he didn't say wrestlers, though. He said wrestlers, didn't he? I don't know. Give us a comment below and let me know what he actually said. Not to cut you off real quick, but we got to talk about the ghost in the room. Randall couldn't make it for us today, but he did have a couple picks that he was thinking about top rivalries, and I'd like to go ahead and mention them. You know, Andre versus the Hulk. This was probably one of my favorite rivalries to actually have happened during the 80s.
Man.
Because when you think about this, now, come on. The biggest thing was the shock when Andre turned heel. You know, was it not?
That was a big shock, but I would say a bigger shock than that was when Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan wrestled, and Hulk Hogan picked him up and slammed it and broke the ring.
No, they did not break the ring. That did not happen. That was actually done by Kane and Undertaker on a match they had where they broke the ring. And it also happened again when Braun Strowman and The Undertaker, or Kane, one of the two, were in the ring as well, because Strowman gave him a suplex off of the top of the belt, and if I'm not mistaken, the whole ring completely collapsed. So they did not tear up the ring in that match. I'll never forget that match because I saw it like it was yesterday, and guess what I just did to do research for this show, sir? I went and watched that match.
I thought when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant, they broke the ring in that match.
No, they did not. But that was the one match, though, that nobody's ever been able to pick up Andre and go body slam.
That's what it was.
Except for one wrestler and one wrestler only. and that's Big John Studd. But we'll get to that further later on in the show because that is one of my picks.
That's what it was. Hulk Hogan was the first person to actually pick Andre the Giant up and body slam him.
Yes. Now, and Andre had back problems, knee problems, things like that. It said that man could drink 5 cases of beer in an hour, and I can believe it. And have you ever seen that man in pictures where he's got a beer can in his hand? I mean, the can, it looks like he's got this little tiny Fez pop in his hand, and the rest is all hand.
If you're a wrestling fan and you know how big Andre the Giant is, you know this man's hand is humongous.
Yes,
it is humongous. Like, I literally seen this man pawn a ball, and the whole ball literally could not fit. This man's whole hand fit over the ball.
It's just like basically, if you were to take and give us one of those little tiny balls, for the arcade game and things like that, if I was to palm one of those, that's the way he palms a ball. Better yet, it's actually if I was to palm a golf ball,
Yeah, that's Andre the Giant palming somebody's head.
Oh, that is so wild.
A human body head, and that, oh my Lord. When I seen Hulk Hogan pick him up and slam him,
wow.
I think I was young when I seen that. When I seen that, I was young.
Well, I was young too, and I'm older than you. I'm 47 years old, so I'm an old man, So I got a little bit more experience. I've been around the block a time or two,
My father introduced me into wrestling when I seen that. Me and my father was sitting on the couch when my father seen Hulk Hogan pick him up and slam him. My dad was like, "Oh my God!" My dad even went
guys, he wants to say in wrestling again.
Wrestling, yes, wrestling.
Oh my God, he just did a white guy impersonation. No offense, I'm a white guy, and I did not take offense to that.
Hey, look.
All right, I'm so glad
we gotta have some type of fun with this here.
Because, if you're going to tune into these type of podcasts, is this the kind of fun that we have every single day, guys?
We do.
Every single day. When we're actually just regular camaraderie, it's funnier than heck. They call him Big Money Mel. Well, until this man starts showing up on time, for meetings that we have, he's still going to be shortchange Mel. Let me tell you. I've been trying to produce a show with this man for a little over a month and a half. All right? Now, a couple of times,
at least we got something going.
What happened there?
At least we got something going now.
Yeah, we do. We got it loaded in the system. Anyway, so that's why I call him Shortchange Mel. Y'all can call him whatever you want. He's Shortchange Mel. I'm everybody's Uncle Bub is our nickname as far as that goes, but you can call me Jimmy. You can call me anything you want. Just never late for dinner or a curse word in front of a lady and a child. On that note, though, guys, it is time for us to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back with more WWE rivalries. Anything else you want to say before we close out?
Stay tuned, y'all. We got more to come. Way more to come for you.
Yes. So we'll be right back, like I stated, after these few short commercial breaks. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Hey, all my gearheads out there, it's everybody's Uncle Bub. We got a brand new show coming to Score On Air Network. It's going to be called The Finish Line. We're going to cover all things that deal with motorsports. That's right, all things for motorsports. So go ahead and get your engines revving, pedal to the metal, and I'll meet you guys at the finish line.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Top Wrestling Rivalries for the ATW podcast. I am Melvin Pollard, also known as the Big Money Mel, here with
everybody's Uncle Bub. And by the way, that ATW stands for all things wrestling, not wrestling.
Wrestling.
Oh, God, you just made me do it. It was a freaking Bugs Bunny trip right there. All right, Mel.
You got it.
So while we were on the break, you were telling me how you really like Stone Cold and Vince's rivalry.
Oh, yes. The Stone Cold Vince's rivalry is my second rivalry because everybody has that boss that just wants to just basically just give their boss what they think and give him the finger and kick him in the gut.
Hey, PG. Oh, that's right. You're just painting a picture. You're not really saying the words.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that part.
Honestly, I do kind of remember this was during the Attitude Era, and it was fun, the Attitude Era, Monday Night Wars. Let's go ahead and make everything vulgar. That way everybody pays attention. Man, the American people are sick if they have to have that kind of drama in order to be entertained. You know that? You guys are sick. Because, come on. Who in the right mind really, really, really wants to see somebody kisses Vince I just don't understand that. You know, that was the whole time he started to kiss my club.
Yeah, PG-13 part. PG-13 part.
My butt club. Sorry, guys.
PG-13 part. But I understand that because the whole kiss my Vince McMahon did at the time was really a whole big like, okay, dude, you're the boss.
Oh, okay, guys. We're going to have to start this one last time because I should have said it. I got to keep it FCC regulated. Oh, my Lord. But I think this is actually one of the things you can say.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll leave it there then. We'll just continue on.
We'll find out. If I get a fine, it's your fault, Mel.
Oh, it ain't my fault. So. It's your fault.
No, it's your fault.
I mean, because you the one said it, not me. But yeah, that whole Vince and Stone Cold rivalry, I like the whole rivalry. Yeah, some people would actually say it wasn't a complete rivalry, but if you look back at time, the whole Attitude Era with Vince and Stone Cold dousing him in beer.
Yeah, I get it. But still, it was more of a entertainment thing. It wasn't really a rivalry because, I mean, you think about it. They, granted, they butt heads and things like that. But rivalries, when I think of rivalries, I think of actual wrestling, not the guy that just owns the company and says, listen, you're going to do what the hell I tell you to because you have to because I'm the frickin' boss. You know what? I mean, come on. Give me a real rivalry there.
That was a rivalry. That was a rivalry because at one point, Stone Cold and Vince did have a match.
Yeah. Hey, now, I get that, but no.
And Stone Cold kicked his butt, of course.
Yes.
And that's a rivalry because everybody in the world have rivalries with their boss.
Okay. Now, yeah, I get that. Everybody does have rivals with their boss. Some people can get away with it. Some people can't. And I'm so glad Stone Cold could do everybody the American people couldn't. But still, there's just something about that whole rivalry I did not like because the fact, like I stated, he had that Kiss My Rear End club. All right? Now, we are a sick American people that we get entertained by watching another man kiss another man's ass. I just don't understand it.
It wasn't only men that he had kiss his butt now. It wasn't only men. It was women wrestlers, too.
Now. That's going over the line of porn. We're not going that direction. I'm sorry, I got this man cracking up. He can't stop laughing. So I'm going to head and move this conversation along, guys. All right?
I mean, yeah, now, that's true. That is true. That is true. Vince McMahon did kind of a PG-13 porn on the whole Kiss My Rear End segment of his shows, but you have to admit, Stone Cold was one person that actually.
What about when it came out that Hornswoggle was Vince's illegitimate son? Now, I know that's not on our outline, but yeah.
Huh?
Hornswoggle was casted to be
Vince McMahon's
son. Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I had a hard time believing that one.
How would you even... Hornswoggle out of all people?
Hornswoggle? He was the most popular person. That's why he was also brought into DX. When you remember that, when they actually made him a member of DX. And really, he was just like a tag-along you'd find in a gang. You know, it's kind of like when you're out hanging out with your boys, you got that one person that doesn't really get along with everybody, but he just shows up just to hope to fit in.
That fifth wheel?
You know? Just hope that I get to fit in here.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And what about the whole... Well, Randall came up with this one. The Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior.
Now, that is a rivalry. Now, granted, we may not get much debate on this one because actually that's one that I kind of enjoyed its most because that's the very first time anybody won both the Intercontinental Championship and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion was actually on the line at the same time. Normally only one or the other.
Yeah, true that.
And Ultimate Warrior was the very first out of anybody on record that I know of that won both of those belts.
He is. Yeah. Ultimate Warrior.
But the rivalry was still kind of boring.
Yeah, because that rivalry really didn't last that long.
I mean, if you go back and watch the highlights of the match, I watched it myself a lot, you know. In fact, I watched it on the pay-per-view closed circuit for the first time it came out. It was WrestleMania 3, guys.
Yes.
And maybe 5. But anyway, the whole point behind it was just an amazing match. It could have went on a little bit better, you know,
and longer.
And Hogan was ready to retire. To be honest with you, I was actually shocked that Ultimate Warrior won it. I honestly thought Hogan had this one in the bag because it was just like a classic match. You know, he did his things. Hogan, he about gets knocked out. You can always tell what's going on with a Hogan match because they're all exactly the same. They're all exactly the same.
Oh, yes.
Somebody's going to put me in a sleeper. I'm going to fight the sleeper. I'm going to Hulk up. I'm going to bounce off the rope. I'm going to do a leg drop. Then I'm going to win the match. Well, that didn't happen.
That did not happen because Ultimate Warrior started doing his little thing, and Ultimate Warrior became the warrior of himself and started shaking the ropes and doing his little.
Hey, did you know he was originally the Dingle Warrior?
Huh?
Not to be confused with the Dingleberry Warrior, but the Dingle Warrior, the Dingo Warrior. He was originally a tag team partner with Sting back in AWA. Then they went over to WCW. He became the Dingo Warrior. Sting became the Stinger, and that is the rest is all history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
See what I mean? If you're going to be having a wrestling podcast with a wrestling fan, shouldn't you go back and do your homework, sir?
I know about the whole tag team thing, but I never knew that Ultimate Warrior name was the Dingo Warrior.
No. Yep, that was his name, the Dingo Warrior. When he wrestled individual in WCW, when he first became WCW and Turner Broadcast Network started airing on TV, yes, he was a Dingo Warrior.
Wow.
Believe it or not. He had really short hair and his long rat tail. Yep. And he also used to wear the same armbands. He had his armbands and everything else until he started growing his hair long out. And he also still botched those terrible promos.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Out there are going to tell me to give me power so that way I can delete you from the universe and all that kind of little things that you hear all the time.
I'm even scared to ask this question.
I think the Ultimate Warrior, was kind of obsessed with himself because his real name was Jim Hellwig.
Yeah.
And what's really kind of wild is the man had to go and change his name to the Warrior because he didn't want anybody else to have his character name when Vince kicked him out. Well, actually, he didn't really kick him out. He made the mistake of going to WCW when his contract was up, just like everybody else.
And that was his biggest mistake going to WCW.
And he never, ever got the push they needed. He was better as a mid-card. He should have never, ever been the champ.
Nope.
That's just my opinion.
So which I already know who you would pick between Hogan and Ultimate Warrior rivalry then.
Well, actually, no, I was a Warrior fan as the Intercontinental Championship. But not
it's a tie.
as an actual other.
It's a tie with me. It's a tie with me between the two. Because I like both of them.
Oh, my Lord.
I like both of them, really. I really did like Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. I was an Ultimate Warrior fan, and I was a not Hollywood Hulk Hogan fan. Definitely.
I liked it when he turned heel. I really did. I kind of liked the whole NWO thing, but that's on another stoat. And it's time to move on to our next topic. Right now, I want to talk about Randy Orton
the Legend
and Triple
Killer.
H. He was the Legend Killer. He actually went ahead and did kill Hogan. He pinned Hogan. He pinned all the greats. Terry Funk, Hogan, Mick Foley, all of them. Triple H. But now Triple H, though, was not part of the Legends, though. Okay?
Sure.
He came back out. I loved it because it was him, Ted DiBiase. They were with Randy Orton, which, by the way, Randy Orton, you did know is Cowboy Bob Orton's son, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is a great 80s wrestler, too, which they had their rivalries for a while, too. Cowboy Bob Orton and Cactus Jack was going at it for a little while. But we're not going down that road. The reason why this is actually, I think, one of the top rivalries ever, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Will, and if you do not agree with me, I could care less, all right? Because I'm entitled to my opinion. My opinion's always right.
But I already know why he picked the Randy Orton and Triple H rivalry.
Oh, my God. I mean, that went on forever. And to this day, they still butt heads every now and then. I mean, granted that Triple H is now, he's part of the corporation, He's actually the...
boss.
What do they call it again?
The boss now.
No, what do they call the faction? I can't remember. The authority.
Yeah, authority.
Yeah, no, it's part of the authority. But those rivalries, man, they took that one personal, All right, guys. So sorry about that. We just had a instructor telling us we've got to wrap it up.
Just an interruption right
quick. So we're going to kind of continue on here with you guys real quick. So we've got... Back to what I was saying. Though took that one personally. Because, they're talking about having theatrical visions and things of that nature going on at the time. They're talking about all the different theatrical matches.
But does everybody know why he chose the Randy Orton Triple H rivalry? Because the Evolution is one of them.
Nope. Has nothing to do with the whole Evolution fraction. Has nothing to do with that at all. What it has to do with me is the way those guys beat on each other. All right? Think about this. Randy Orton... chased down Stephanie McMahon, chased down Vince McMahon, chased down Linda McMahon, All right? So attack the whole McMahon family. And keep in mind, this is after Triple H and Stephanie are married. All right?
Yeah, that would.
So
yeah.
in retaliation, all right, Triple H goes and attacks Randy Orton at his house. Breaks the man's windows.
Yes.
Throws a chair through the window, goes through the window, and goes
throws him out the window as well.
Throws him through his own wall into his kitchen. So when you think about this, that's why I chose that rivalry.
You know what?
All right.
Now did you say it? I do remember that because that was one of the real life rivalries between Triple H and Randy Orton.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
None of that was. Okay, most rivalries, is scripted, and most times it's a storyline. But that rivalry right there, when Triple H literally hunted his man down at home and beat him at home, was not a storyline. That was a real rivalry between Triple H and Randy Orton. And when I seen that, I'm like, wait a minute, did he just literally go to this man's household and do this? Like, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. You know, speaking of rivalries, okay, we wanted to remind you to head over to the new scoreonair.com. You can catch all of our live streams, such as this one, and even read our blogs. We are adding new content daily, including game previews, blogs, and even local stories. Check it out today, scoreonair.com. That is scoreonair.com. Now, what's really kind of wild, we're going to go to one of the best rivalries ever. All right, and this is one that lasted forever, and it's still going on to this day, with the exception of one thing. One of the men actually finally retired. All right, and then we got to talk about it. If we're going to talk about rivals of all time, we have to talk about Sting
and Flair.
You know,
the Sting and Flair rivalry. Oh my God!
What are your thoughts on the Sting and Flair rivalry?
I would have to go with Sting on this one.
Okay.
I'll have to go with Sting on this one.
I'll have to go with my fraction of Four Horsemen, baby.
I'll have to go with Sting on this one. What made you think? Okay. Why do you think this rivalry started between Sting and Flair?
Because WCW wanted a match. Sting was always a face of the company. He's always been a face of the company. Ric Flair has always been the heel of the company. So that's why those rivals went back and forth, back and forth. But one thing, the reason why I think they lasted so long, though, is the matches were still good. Their matches were still good. Because, see, a lot of times when you get a rivalry, you can see they're wrestling the same people every single weekend. You know, every single week, everybody's wrestling the same thing. And I think, in my personal professional opinion, whether you like it or not, is, I think that was one of the best rivalries we ever had. You know?
Yeah. I can say that was one of the best ones that we've had so far. Far.
Yeah, now so far.
That I'll put at the top, within the top 5 top rivalries of wrestling.
Yeah, I can honestly say that rivalry lasted from the time that WCW aired and started airing on national television platform. It was also they had the same rivalry going on in AWA, which a lot of people don't know. The AWA was actually what WCW became. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it was beforehand. It became WCW. World class wrestling.
And correct me if I'm wrong. This rivalry still took effect when the WCW and WWF, before it became WWE rivalry,
no.
When the WWF and WCW rivalry started happening, the Sting and Flair rivalry would still happen after WWF took over
Sting
WCW.
rivalry was going on. No. Sting was at the end of his contract when WWF took over WCW, and it was a whole corporate takeover there. All right, when that happened, Sting was at the end of his contract. He did not have to sign with Vince. He's never signed with Vince until recently, and the only reason why he did is he finally swallowed his pride. All right,
and signed with him.
And no, he wanted to wrestle again in the big times instead of being in TNA, which is where he was at with all the older guys.
Okay.
He wanted to because WCW and WWF, they both had some of the best talent in the world.
Oh, yes.
So when Vince was smart enough to take over WCW, and I'm so mad at you, Ted Turner, you should have never sold out. Anyway,
Because
you should have never sold out.
If you would have held out for a little bit longer.
Yeah, you were still making money hand over fist. I don't understand. But anyway, it's not always about the money. Sometimes it's about moving on and trying to do something new and smart. And he was a really smart businessman, Vince McMahon. I got to say one thing. He's definitely a smart businessman. He may not be a good person, but he's a good, smart businessman.
Didn't Sting and Flair wrestle in the WWF?
No, they have not, like I told you. Sting was at the end of his contract, so he did not have to sign with WWF. So he was able to get out of his contract. It wasn't until recently, within the last couple of years, that Sting finally started wrestling. And it was a WrestleMania that he made his debut against, of all people, Triple H.
Okay, he did wrestle Triple H.
Yep. That was time to play the game. That's probably one of my all-time favorite wrestlers is Triple H. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, all right, let's go ahead to my next pick. Now, there's another one you can never forget about, especially if you're a wrestling fan from the 80s and the original WWF. How about the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, What a Rush, and Demolition. Those were some of the best ones. Demolition, Axe, Smash, Crush. Crush ended up becoming Typhoon. Also, Adam Bomb. He was quite a few of those characters.
Rest in peace.
What's that?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. All right. So go ahead and talk a little bit about that. I mean, that was a heck of a rivalry we had there as well, right?
Oh, yeah. That was one of the, I would say, that was one of the best tag team rivalries that came about. Like, I don't ever think that there has ever been another tag team rivalry like this one. Like, no. I've been watching wrestling for years, and I honestly can say there's no other tag team that has topped that tag team rivalry.
Huh.
None.
Sure about that.
Name one other one.
Really one?
Name one other one.
Oh, my God. Okay, the Rockers versus the British Bulldogs. You want me to keep going? Heart Foundation versus the Legion of Doom. Do you want me to, I could keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
With these two?
How about the Nasty Boys, versus the Rock and Roll Express, all right?
A worse rivalry than these two?
Dude, there's still plans of tag teams that have worse rivalries than these two. How about the fact
these
that
two tag teams,
Demolition went on to take on the powers that be, which are, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not, it is Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, which was the ultimate team at the time. Or how about when Demolition actually was wrestling against actual Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior as a tag team. So, there was quite a bit of good things going on with those. But that was just one
But they tore each other up, though. They tore each other up.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Come on. What a rush. They all started as professional bodybuilders.
That's what I mean, it's like these two tag teams literally, I'm not going to say they made it, but they took a whole new meaning to hardcore.
Yeah, that's true. They did take a whole new meaning to the word hardcore.
Because this tag team did hardcore and just did stuff with it. I mean, look at their entrance.
They were not hardcore. They were more wrestlers than wrestlers themselves. Hardcore is all that stuff that happened in ECW. Come on. That's hardcore. Jeff Hardy and the Hardy Boys are hardcore. Sandman, hardcore. And by the way, Stone Cold Steve Austin did not come up with that whole drinking beer thing. That was all done by Sandman first. Sandman, he bought that gimmick off the Sandman. And I don't care what anybody says.
Actually, no, he did.
Oh, yes, he did. It's been proven.
Because when ECW and WWF had their thing, Sandman and that was one of the things that went on between Stone Cold and Sandman, because Stone Cold saying, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that," and Sandman said, "No, nigga." He said, "No, you can't. You can't do that. You can't do that." Cause matter of fact, Sandman was one that actually was taking the beers and crushing them on his head.
Really.
Was that Sandman or was that?
That was Sandman. That was Sandman that was actually doing that. Now, of course, the ultimate, extreme wrestler would have been Mick Foley.
I don't know about that.
Yep, Mick Foley. Mick Foley. Yep. I don't care what you say, it's Mick Foley. But anyway.
Nope. I'm sorry.
Sabu, the great Sabu.
That's what I was thinking about.
Abdullah the Butcher.
That's why I was from ECW.
Yep. Abdullah the Butcher was from the AAA Wrestling Association.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Mel. Didn't you say that there's also another one called Cena versus The Rock? How was that really considered a rivalry? It only lasted a couple matches.
I mean, but it was still one of the greatest ones because you had the face of the WWE, not current, but at that time, and then you had the face of the WWE from the past clash in a great rivalry because all the fans know, every fan knew when The Rock returned and him and Cena faced each other, that was going to become a rivalry that unlike no other because Cena was...
That was just a promotion hike. They were slickly just trying to keep ratings. That's all that was. I mean,
but it's still a rivalry.
It only lasted one match.
No, they had more than one match.
Well, how many did they have then?
They had it was one of the shortest rivalries. But
there you go. So that's why I don't think it should have made our list.
But they had like 3 matches.
Three?
Yeah, 3.
3. Okay, everybody on our list has had 10 to 20. Some of them have been doing for years, and you choose one that has 3 matches? How's that a rivalry?
Because
now, granted, it was shocked to have that happen, and everybody wanted to see that. You know, how about when Hogan won against The Rock? And, of course, The Rock beat Hogan. So, I mean...
that was... Yeah,
okay.
but then also you have to realize the face of the WWE was Cena, and basically from what people was talking about that, The Rock didn't like it. The Rock didn't like that Cena was the face of WWE now and not him. So, yes, that's why The Rock literally came back because he did not like that everybody was talking about Cena this, Cena this, Cena this, Cena this, Cena that, Cena that, Cena that. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So when Rock came back, everybody was like, ooh, this rivalry is good. The new age versus the new age
what kind
and
of
old
wild
age.
is Rock? You know, he actually started out when he changed his persona, he became a heel. He was an actual heel that turned into a person they liked. Same thing with Stone Cold. When Stone Cold became that heel type thing, everybody loved him. He was a heel already anyway. You know, because he started out as what was he called? He was the $1 million champion, basically, because I can't remember what his first name was. I know what it was in WCW. He was stunning Steve Austin.
Yeah.
So.
But before then, he had another name before then too.
How did we get back on Steve Austin again when we're talking about the Cena and The Rock?
I have no clue. I have no clue right now how we actually got to that. But we'll be right back, y'all, with more of Top Wrestling Rivalries for the ATW podcast.
That's right,
we'll
guys.
Be right back.
Stick around. We're going to have some more for you, along with our wrap-up, guys. Give us just a few more minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this is your host, the Big Money Mel, here on School on the Air every Thursday night from 4 to 5 p.m. on the Prince Israel Show, where we talk about everything wrestling. Everything from the beginning of wrestling to the AEW, to the NXT, to the WWE, to the WCW, to the beginning of every wrestling event you could ever think of, here on the Prince Israel Show on School on the Air every Thursday night from 4 to 5 p.m. Come on in, join me.
All right. Hey, we are back. Hey, what do you think about that promo there for Mel's show coming up here soon? This is why I still call him Short Change Mel, but everybody knows him as Big Money Mel.
It's Big Money Mel, okay? It's Big Money Mel.
Yeah, you gotta have money to be Big Money Mel.
Come on. It's Big Money Mel. Everybody knows me as Big Money Mel.
I still say it's Short Change Mel. But anyway, so...
My commercial says Big Money Mel.
Oh, Lordy. All right, hey.
Yep, this handwriting is very small, y'all.
Tell us where we can find you on social media at anyway, brother.
I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just type my name, Melvin Pollard. You'll see me with a suit. That's me.
And don't forget to check out his Prince Israel Productions that he has on his Facebook page. I've seen those myself.
Oh, yeah. Prince Israel Show on WUDG Underground. And coming soon, the Prince Israel Show, all sports, all wrestling, on scoreonair.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Coming soon.
To a theater near you. No. Anyway.
I wish I could do a theater part, but nope.
Yeah, and be sure to check out Everybody's Uncle Bub's fan page there on Facebook. You can find me on everybody'sunclebub.com. It's my actual own website there, guys. You can find all my footage, some videos for you there. There's a few blogs to look at right there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, go to JADKIS0. That's right, JADKIS0. You can also find me on, believe it or not, TikTok. Yes, I have a TikTok.
Oh, yeah, I have a TikTok as well.
Oh,
but my TikTok part is not as big as yours yet.
No, my TikTok's fun. I like TikTok. TikTok's different. TikTok,
Yeah.
You can find me at Everybody's Uncle Bub. Also, now, by the way, guys, that's spelled Everybody's with BODIES. Uncle, which is UNKLE, bub.com. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram under that same tag. So, anyway, back to what we were doing on our conversation here. Let's go back to those top rivals in history there, some of the best rivals ever. And I'd gotta say, probably one of my favorites, and I know you might agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, I don't care. We've already established that through this podcast. All right?
Sometimes.
No, we've guaranteed to establish that. I don't care what you think during this podcast. Okay? No, I'm kidding, guys. I'm actually nice with him. I like Mel. He's a really good friend to be shortchanged with. But anyways.
Big money.
Short change. Anyway. All right, so it's going to be the all-time favorite, Big Red Evil versus the Dead Man himself.
Oh, my
the
God.
Undertaker. Now, the reason why I believe this is one of the greatest rivalries is because, well, first of all, Undertaker only went through a couple of different gimmicks when he was coming up, and I just wanted to say that,
God.
And the best one he had was the actual, Undertaker, and Mark Calvin is his real name, and then we go with Big Red Evil Kane, Kane was originally called the Dentist.
I think that was
Isaac Yankem.
Yes.
The Dentist Isaac Yankem, talking about recycling,
but
some
that
different
really
things
didn't
that should make no sense.
That really didn't make that much of a impact on nothing in wrestling.
No, so they were trying to figure out what to do to the guy, so they went ahead and made him the Big Red Evil Kane. Now, the wild part about this, though, is the storyline that they created. They were supposed to be the brothers that be. And for years, people really thought Kane and Undertaker were actual brothers.
I actually thought they were brothers until I actually had to do my research on it, because with me watching wrestling, I literally thought they were brothers.
Did you say research?
Yes.
You actually did research on something? Judging by the beginning part of this podcast, guys, I would say no.
I actually did research, and I found out that through all the wrestling, that they basically met each other in wrestling. They never knew each other outside of wrestling.
There's a lot of places that are like that with their companies. There's only a couple places that actually were real brothers, and that was like, for instance, believe it or not, Team 3D, they're not brothers either.
Wait a minute, what?
Team 3D.
Devon and Bubba Ray.
Yeah, they actually are brothers. No, they're not. They're not brothers at all.
I think they are, bro. I think they're just not blood brothers.
Yeah, I think they may be stepbrothers, but they're not Dudleys.
No.
And it just kind of the way it came about. Actually, they teamed them up together. They're really not real biological blood brothers at all. All right, but it was part of the storyline in ECW. But anyway, that is not even what we're talking about here.
I know, we're talking about the Kane and Undertaker.
Yeah, let's get back to the powers that be. So, like I stated, it's Kane versus The Undertaker. But then, of course, the storyline, if I remember correctly, Kane kept being underneath the shadows of The Undertaker, and he was ready to kill him. Literally. That's one of the first matches they had in that rivalry was a casket match.
Oh, yes, it was.
Okay, how about a Burning Inferno match where the ring's on fire? They had a couple of those.
Hell in a Cells.
What else?
In
fact, didn't they develop the Hell in a Cell match just for those two?
Actually, yes, they did. Actually, yes. The Hell in a Cell match actually came about because of the Kane and The Undertaker. And that's when the whole Hell in a Cell actually got big. Is what Kane and The Undertaker.
I'm not quite sure if we're right on this, so please comment and let us know in the comments below, or give us a shout out, send me an email, send me a text, send me something, because I like to know what you guys are thinking. So,
are we right on the Hell in a Cell with Kane and The Undertaker creating it? Mm-hmm. Well, I know The Undertaker was one of the first people that did the Hell in a Cell. I know The Undertaker was one. Kane, I'm not for sure about, but I know Undertaker came up with the Hell in a Cell.
All right, well, let's look into that. I like the casket match ideas. So, I mean, what do you think about this rivalry? Do you think it actually is worth talking about?
Of course. You got the Big Red Machine, and you got the Dead Man.
Oh my
What's
God.
not to talk about?
Guys, mark it on your calendar. April 3rd, 2021. Melvin agreed with me. Oh my God. Melvin agreed with something I said.
It's the Big Red Machine and The Undertaker.
That's an awesome ultimate one.
That is one of the, I would say that's probably one of the biggest rivalries that Vince McMahon could have came up with between make-believe two brothers.
Speaking of Kane and The Undertaker, now I really liked them as tag teams, and I know as a tag team they had some rivals themselves. Who do you think would be some of the top rivals they were against? Who?
The B.O.D.
Go ahead and explain who B.O.D. is.
Brothers of Destruction.
That is Kane and The Undertaker. That's not what I'm asking you. My question is, Mel, pay attention. This is why I call him shortchanged, okay? He has a short attention span as well. No, my question is, when the Brothers of the Destruction were together as the Brothers of the Destruction, who was their biggest rival?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Ting dong, ting dong, ting dong, tick dong.
I really wouldn't even say. I don't know.
And I don't know either. I was hoping you would know. But
I don't
anyway,
know. I don't know because as Brothers of the Destruction, it was a lot of tag teams wanted to go up against them. A lot of them did.
Well, give me some examples, please, while I'm looking it up.
Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, the
that was a
Dudley
pretty good one.
Boys.
Okay.
A lot of tag teams, they wanted to actually face them because of who they are. And, well, who they were. I'm not going to say are. Who they were, because neither one of them wrestles anymore.
Who's that?
Kane and The Undertaker, neither one of them wrestles.
Well, Kane's wrestling again. He just came in the last Royal Rumble. He was. He was also in Fastlane.
Oh, he did return.
See, I got WWE Network. Speaking of the WWE, I'm kind of upset with them right now.
Why?
Well, because the WWE Network, man. It's weird. I like watching my WWE Network. That's how I'm able to be a little bit more prepared for this than Mr. Old Shortchange Mel over here.
Hey, I'm prepared for it sometimes.
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 It's just like somewhere over the rainbow.
Just like
Melvin's prepared.
Just like some people say they're never late for dinner, but I'm quite sure they're late for everything else.
Yeah, Mel would be late to his own funeral. Let me tell you, I was late for 3 or 4 hours yesterday to try to get this thing started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
That wasn't my fault. That was not my fault.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, okay. But back to the WWE Network thing. How do we keep getting tangent on something else? It makes it more entertaining, I guess.
I guess so. Hey,
guys,
ATW, all things wrestling.
This and having just as much fun as I am right now, because this has been one heck of a podcast.
Yes.
So, the reason why I'm upset with WWE Network is you can no longer just have the WWE Network. In order to get WrestleMania, by the way, it's coming up in 2 days on April 5th, the biggest thing in the world for us wrestling fans, and you have to subscribe to somewhere else to get it.
Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. So you can't go on WWE.com anymore to subscribe to them and watch a pay-per-view anymore?
Nope, not at all. In fact, those who already have WWE Network as of April 5th, which is the day of WrestleMania.
The grandest stage of them all.
You have to go to the Peacock Network.
What's the Peacock Network?
NBC's network.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so now you got to go to the... And it kind of gets me. It makes you kind of forced to choose. But what's really kind of unique, granted you may not want to watch the actual, programming on Peacock Network, but it is cheaper overall than just the WWE Network by itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because see...
Maybe I need to check that out.
The way it works is like Amazon Prime works, where you can actually go ahead and just have the basic membership, right? And then you add different subscriptions that you want with your membership. Well, it's the same way with the Peacock Network. Now, by the way, we are not sponsored. This is just me rambling on about what bothers me about it. But
me too.
After looking into it, it's only $4.99 is the actual price for your
subscription?
Yes, thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Wow, Uncle Bub got tongue-tied for a second there, yo.
Yes, my tongue got wrapped around my eye teeth. Can you believe it, guys? I talk for a living.
And he got tongue-tied.
I did. Hey, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I bet you can't say that at all.
or whatever you just said 3 times.
I told you. But it's $4.99 for that. Then it's also only $4.99 for the subscription for the WWE Network. So you're still at $9.99 plus you get extra content. So let's look at the bright side of it. At least that's going to happen. But yeah, so and by the way, guys, to answer the question before on who their biggest actual rival was, the Brothers of Destruction's rivals, it was DX. Which DX, man, that was fun.
I do remember that rivalry too. That rivalry was fun between the Brothers of Destruction and Kennedy and Generation X. But enough about them. On to the next one. What do you think about the whole Rock and Stone Cold rivalry?
Oh my God, that was funny. I was trying to figure out who was more arrogant.
Stone Cold.
I don't know
Stone Cold
about
West.
that now,
Nope, Stone Cold West.
See, this is the one thing about these guys right here, and this is funny, and now listen to me, please hear me out, all right? You don't have to hear me out, but you guys out there in radio land do. All right, so they both were kind of the same type of gimmick overall when it comes to their mic promos. When they were doing shoots on the mic, a lot of it was the same. So as a prime example,
That's true.
I mean, hey Mel, I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
I don't care if you agree with that. You know what? Because Uncle Bub said so. All right?
Hey, hold up. You can't say that.
Why can't I?
It doesn't matter what you say.
Can't you smell what OMS is cooking? Yes. So yeah, that's what I was thinking was going on. That was more of an entertaining rivalry.
It was.
It was a good rivalry because of course they were going back and forth to the belt, back and forth to the belt, back and forth to the belt. And
that happened in the whole Attitude Era too, didn't it?
It did. But see, one of my better ones I liked was John Cena versus going against The Rock. Now that was a pretty good rivalry too back then.
Huh?
It was a rivalry. Rock versus Cena.
Okay, that was not the Attitude Era though.
It doesn't really matter. It's part of wrestling. And we're talking about wrestling. This is a wrestling podcast, am I right?
Well, yeah.
All right. And is it not a rivalry?
Yes, it was a rivalry.
Okay.
Yes, it was a rivalry.
It did not make our list.
Yes, it was one.
But it's our rivalry. It is our rivalry. So, okay, so there is one of the rivalries right there. All right. Now we'll go ahead and go to the last one. This was the last pick we had for our brother that could not make it with us today. Rest in peace, Randall.
And
No, I'm kidding. You're not dead. You're just not with us.
And everybody knows this one back from. If you used to watch wrestling in the 80s and 90s, you know this rivalry because this was one of the biggest rivalries. And I can't believe it came from Randall. And the rivalry is
It's
Jake the Snake Robertson versus Ricky.
Robertson. That's a construction company in Ohio. No, it's Jake the Snake Roberts.
Robertson, same thing.
No, it's not. There's an extra S-O-N on there. There's more syllables.
Okay, look, he got to be right, y'all. He just got to be right, you know. He just got to be right.
This whole thing, and it's never going to
It's
stop.
Jake the Snake, period. It's just
right.
Jake the Snake, okay?
Yes, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake.
Short change.
Big money. Anyways,
Short change.
and Ricky the Steamboat.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but
Oh.
it is Ricky Steamboat.
Oh,
His last
my
name is
bad.
really Steamboat, and it's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now
My
that is
bad.
one heck
I
of a
forgot
rivalry
the
going on
dragon
there.
part.
But I'd like to mention something that was a little bit better rivalry rather than that one, but the same character basically. And
Who?
they both have both of these guys right here has had rivalries with one of the best ones ever, who also made the top of our list as far as a rivalry against Hogan himself. But that is Randy Macho Man Savage.
Randy Savage.
Because Randy Macho Man Savage had a really good going on with Jake the Snake Roberts during this rivalry, until the fact that actually Jake was bringing a snake out, was tormenting during the wedding when he married Miss Elizabeth. During that wedding, he had actually brought the cobra out that bit Randy in the ring. He had tormented Elizabeth with the snakes all the time.
I remember that.
Went off for
I remember
almost
that.
a whole season.
I
So
remember
that was
that.
one of the longest rivalries ever, and one of the greatest rivalries when you look at that, especially with the amount of drama that was involved in that rivalry.
I would say out of anything, I wouldn't say it was a rivalry because Jake the Snake had that big old snake.
Well, of course that, but that big old snake has nothing to do with whether there's a rivalry or not.
Have his matches.
Okay, you know
have
what
his matches. Have the people were scared to get in the ring with him because when he was carrying that darn bag, they knew what it was in the bag.
Well, I wouldn't say Macho Man was scared. He was scared of nothing except for Miss Elizabeth. But anyway.
Of course, that was his wife. Of course, who wouldn't be scared of their wife?
Anybody that's a smart man knows the wife's always right. Anyway.
I beg to differ on that one.
Oh, see, and this is why I call him Shortchange Mel,
beg
too.
to differ on that one.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it at all.
The wife is not always right.
Yes, she is.
She's 90% right half of the time.
She's always right. But anyway, we got completely off of what I was talking about. So, no, it was a rivalry. You know what a definition of a rivalry is when they go fighting back and forth to see who's going to win and they keep fighting only each other?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page. All right. So you're trying to tell me that wasn't a rivalry, guys. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below if you agree with me or if you agree with me. Shortchange. I mean, big money. I'll be nice, Mel. Okay.
Okay. So
Shortchange, Mel. Anyway.
But out of the three rivalries.
But well, no, I didn't finish my story though.
Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. This is just fun. We've had a great time producing this for you. I hope you have as much fun listening to it as we have enjoyed producing it for you. So, back to what I was trying to say, though, is also another rivalry with Randy the Macho Man Savage was also Ricky Steamboat. To the point where during a WrestleMania, this is one of my oh my god shock me moments I've ever had in wrestling history. I was watching the live event. It was a pay-per-view event. I can't remember whether it was WrestleMania or if it was Royal Rumble, all right? But it was one of those events. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was facing Randy Macho Man Savage, all right, in a belt. And Randy, this is when Randy was still kind of considered not necessarily a heel, but he was more of a heel than ever.
Yeah.
All right. So he was one of the worst heels we had at the time. And he took the bell and crushed Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's larynx during that match.
I believe that was a WrestleMania match. I believe that was a main event at WrestleMania. One of the main events they had at a WrestleMania when he did that.
Yeah, it was a main event. I know that was a main eventer because I was in shock. I'll never forget it. I'm laying there on the floor and all of a sudden my mouth just dropped because I was a Ricky Dragon the Steamboat fan, you know. Of course, I was always a good guys fan. I liked all the good guys, you know what I mean? Good guys, bad guys, heel, face. It doesn't matter to me. It's wrestling, guys. It's
Everybody's
wrestling.
good and bad.
All right.
At one point you got good, one point you got bad. So, hey.
All right, hey guys. Well, that pretty much wraps up our broadcast for you this afternoon. Remember to follow us on ScoreOnAirNetwork.com or just ScoreOnAir.com, as well as, where are you at there again, Mel?
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and on TikTok.
And don't be looking for big money because you will not find it. Look for actual
Melvin
names.
Pollard.
Spell that, please.
Melvin Pollard. Pollard.
Kind of like his personality. He's polar opposite of me. Anyway, let's go ahead and give another quick shout out to Randall, who could not be with us this broadcast for us. And again, I'm everybody's Uncle Bub, Jimmy Atkinson, James Atkinson. Again, call me anything you want, as long as it's not late for dinner or a curse word in front of a lady or a child. All right?
But he's always late for dinner.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. So there you have it. If you agree with what we've actually talked about, give us a comment, give us a like, give us a share. Don't forget to follow us, okay, on Uncle Bub's fan page on Facebook. Everybody's Uncle Bub, that is. Also, go to get and watch. Oh, follow me on WUDG Underground on Monday mornings, because I also have a radio show there for us.
I was about to say,
and also don't forget
to
check out the Prince Israel show on Underground as well. When does that air?
Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on WUDG Columbus Underground, home of the unsigned artists.
Oh, and don't be forgetting to looking out for the new show coming on Score On Air Network, and that's mine, which is The Finish Line, with everybody's Uncle Bub and whoever else decides to be in the studio that day. We're going to be covering all that racing, like I stated for you. We're going to have some fun. Well, that's our time for now, guys. We really do appreciate everything that you've turned into. We appreciate you out there, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and share, like I stated before. Can't emphasize that enough, and we really appreciate it. I'm everybody's Uncle Bub, a.k.a. Jimmy Atkinson. This is
Big Money Mel,
a.k.a. Shortchange Mel.
Melvin Pollard, Big Money Mel. And thank you all for joining in to our ATW Podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed it as much as we did making it. Enjoy the rest of your day.
That's right. That's all things wrestling. That's what he says, wrestling. It's still wrestling, though. All right, guys. We'll see you later. That's the end of it for us. Peace out.
Peace.